Hey guys, what's going on? So got some pretty exciting things to talk about today. The thing that made me start recording straight away before I really had a chance to wake up and before I really let the dishwasher finish that you might be hearing in the background is because I saw this post on Reddit saying that Chapter 8 is coming out on June 14th, which is about 2 weeks from now. And, I don't read Korean, but I'm going to trust that that is how it is. The poster does say basically there will be a few pre-register events. Chapter 8 will also entail new guild content such as new guild skills and a training center for heroes. And so along with Chapter 8, most likely we'll get a higher skill level, we'll get T8 gear. So I think that'll be pretty exciting. 2 weeks from now, so basically next patch actually. More details of course will come when that patch is going. And besides that, of course, we have the patch note for May 31st. This patch has already gone live. It was a very weird time for me, like 8 to 3 in the morning last night, so of course I couldn't really go over it then. I'm pretty sure the biggest thing are the 3 new heroes, which we're going to talk about, but we also have some new costumes here, which I think all look pretty damn cool. So these are the ones for Priscilla, Castle, Theo, and Frey. And we also have some for Epis, Shay, Crow, and Aisha. So our first new hero is the Vessel of Curses, Shamilla. Very interesting design. So let's see, she is an archer. So I'm not sure if I quite understand her unique weapon right now because I'm not sure what this Vessel of Curses is. But apparently she'll have a 20% attack buff, 10 seconds out of 20. And of course, I don't quite understand her unique treasure yet either. But we're going to be looking at her skills, so maybe we can understand a bit more. So her first one, Curse of Petrification, attacks an enemy inflicting im damage and also inflicts his Curse of Petrification for a while. The enemy under the Curse of Petrification will have reduced attack speed, and this effect gets stronger as time passes. When the curse ends, it petrifies the target for a while. So I think Petrify is a sort of CC we don't see often at all. I'm not sure if it's only like her and Audie now. There might be like one other or something, but Petrify is definitely a very rare CC. It is pretty interesting though. They'll have their attack speed reduced, which gets stronger over time, so it's kind of like they're slowly turning into stone until finally, boom, they turn into stone. The game is actually up already, so I guess we could just check in game and actually be able to see the animations and such as well. But usually with stuff like this, I'm going to start with their passive because we can't see that once we're in that little training room. Yeah, this one's kind of hard because I'm still not sure what the Vessel of Curses is, but apparently you will obtain that, get a shield, and while the shield is active, you have immunity to CC. Yeah, I'm not reading any of her skills that kind of have to do with this Vessel of Curses. So maybe it's some kind of weird passive thing. We're going to take a look at her first skill though. This is the sort of CC skill. The debuffing over time, and you can see he's petrified now, or it. So we also have her Curse of Time skill, which increases all skill cooldowns by 1.5 seconds, and all skill cooldowns of the enemy under the Curse of Time increased by 1 second every 3 seconds. Again, I think this might be like one of the only ones that can, maybe the only one actually, that can increase the cooldown of a skill. A pretty long cooldown itself at 23 seconds though. Gonna check out its animation. There it goes. Seemed to be somewhat quick. And with her last skill, she'll inflict Curse of Pain for 8 seconds, which has a 9-second cooldown. And that just deals damage over time, apparently. Let's check that out. Alright, that is a pretty slow firing. It's kind of like Celine's. Well, so far, she kind of just looks more like a DPS slash somewhat of a utility. But I don't know. She doesn't seem too impressive right now, but there obviously could be something I'm missing, or maybe her multipliers are just really, really high. It's something you can't really tell until she is like, level 80 T5 with good gear on. I'll probably do another poll after this video goes up, asking you guys which of the 3 you recommend, and then I'll get one, raise it, check it out for a few days, and then post a review on it. What the hell? Okay, so we're looking at Epitome of Ancient Technomagic Kara now. She apparently has like 5 skills and a passive. I guess these two are like, wow, that's weird. I mean, I kind of assumed these skills change depending on something else, like maybe her mode. Kara turns into siege weapon mode and attacks the enemy, inflicting damage with each hit. When in siege weapon mode, changes anti-personnel laser and wide area cannon skills to siege laser and focused fire skills When the skill is used again, it returns to anti-personnel weapon mode. So anti-personnel laser and wide area cannon, I guess, are her normal skills, and then when she's in this mode that she uses with her third skill, she'll have access to siege laser and focused fire. And her passive skill changes her stats based on what mode she's in. In anti-personnel weapon mode, she'll have her defense increased, making her more tanky. But when in siege weapon mode, she has her attack increased and also takes 30% more damage, but gains immunity to CC. Recovers 40 MP each time damage is dealt to an enemy. Alright, that's definitely very interesting. So she's like kind of an unstoppable glass cannon sort of thing in siege weapon, because she will take more damage, but she has more attack, and she's immune to CC, so you can't really just like stun her and be like, oh well. Going to the training dummy now, one thing I noticed is her auto attack is insanely slow. Maybe one of the slowest auto attacks I've ever seen, maybe besides like Luna. But we're gonna try her normal skills first. This one is just some damage with a knockback. Let's check it out. Alright, pretty cool looking though. And next we have wide area cannon, attacks a random target and nearby enemies 4 times. So this one is basically just an attack with a stun on it. Let's check that out. Very long charging time and a somewhat long casting time. And now we're going to be going into siege weapon mode here. Alright, now she's like floating. I'm not sure how long that actually lasts. I think that lasts until we use one of the skills. So we're going to use Siege Laser first. So this is basically just a really strong attack because crit damage will be 200% increased, as well as I assume it just being a strong attack in general. So let's go ahead and check it out. Boom. That's like Crow's third skill, except a much shorter casting time. Well, she's still in siege mode, so let's go ahead and try focused fire. So apparently this will add a stack of focused fire, which can stack up to 30 times, and they'll take extra M damage with each stack. So again, kind of similar to Crow in this regard. So let's try focused fire. We'll get those stacks in there. So she only has 15 now. She can have up to 30. But apparently those just stay for those 20 seconds. Sadly, you wouldn't be able to do Siege Laser 3 times in that because it has an 11-second cooldown. So you could do it right after and once more. Also, the cooldown of Focus Fire isn't short enough to get that stack up to 30, so I'm actually not sure. There's probably a Transcendence perk that reduces the cooldown of this, so where it might be possible. And once you hit the third skill again, she'll just go back to anti-personnel mode. So yeah, again, she seems very just basically pure DPS-y. A few little CCs in there like knockback and stun on one of them, but regardless, a pretty interesting character with that transformation third skill there. And finally, we're looking at Chase. He's kind of like a berserker, it sort of seems like. Remember this in Hell. Let's check out his passive first. Not affected by lifesteal stats. Instead, increase max HP, crit, CC accuracy, and normal accuracy. If receiving damage that leads to death, resurrect for 5 seconds with increased crit damage by 40%, increased attack speed by 400. The resurrection effect is only activated once per battle, and the resurrected Chase cannot use skills. Wow, I can imagine that'll make for some interesting arena matches, perhaps. Like it's just Chase left and maybe like 2 others, and then they kill him and he resurrects, just beats the hell out of them with his normal auto attacks, and rip in peace. So I guess this is kind of like another DPS. But wait, this means this guy can't have lifesteal. I just kind of realized that. I was kind of thinking that no one can lifesteal off of him, but this is like Crow where he's not affected by attack speed stats. Not being able to have any lifesteal is kind of annoying for most likely a DPS here. I mean, he is a warrior as well, so he should have some slightly better defense, but even so, well, let's see what his other skills can do. Maybe it makes up for it. So as a warrior, he does obviously have a melee attack here. So this one is kind of interesting. It prevents the target from receiving positive effects for 4 seconds and attacks, knocking the target back, and then stuns them for 4 seconds apparently. Let's just check out how that looks. Okay, so there was like an initial little explosion and then a bigger explosion, which I guess was the stun and or knockback. What the hell is this? A huge wall of text. Remove limit. Upon activation, remove limit takes effects. So you'll remove all negative effects in exchange for 10% of your current HP. And you'll also be dealing some damage. What the hell? And while it's active, you'll consume 5% of your current HP every second, gaining immunity to CC and increasing crit damage by 40% and attack speed by 250. HP consumption and the increase in crit damage and attack speed grow larger as time passes. This effect cannot be dispelled and is automatically deactivated when HP is under 10%. Well, that's pretty crazy, especially because he can't have any lifesteal. So he kind of needs like a healer that can... Wow, how high does that grow though, I wonder? So you can see his buff here. Look at that HP, oh my god. That's crazy. And it kind of looks like 5% of total HP because that never slowed down. You know, if it was 5% of current HP, it should slow down the lower he gets, but it definitely didn't look like that. And finally, we have his last skill, charge that enemy, doing some damage, knocking it down, explodes the ground around self to attack 4 times, dealing more damage and inflicting stun for 4 seconds. Oh, but he also recovers HP equal to 25%. So let's see how much that is just with this guy. That was basically nothing. Of course, I'm sure it would be a lot more when he is raised, but yeah. Okay, but now, if you could see that, now it looked like he was really only taking 5% of his current HP because it was taking off very slowly. But before, it looked like it was going pretty consistent all the way down to 10%. But yeah, that's kind of my first impressions for the new heroes. I think they're all pretty interesting, but it's really hard to tell anything about them until they're raised or until someone else raises them and shares their experience. Because you can't really see what they're capable of just on the preview screen. All I can really look at is their skills and eventually their transcendence perks, but trying to put the transcendence perks in the single video as well is going to be too much, so I'll probably do that separately. But yeah, make sure to tell me what you think about the new heroes and the fact we have an actual release date for Chapter 8. That's pretty exciting. Also, leaving a like if you did happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.